and it looks, for the first time in a very long time, like the place that I remember, and our capital city, and a place that we can all call home. I'm so proud of you. I want to say to you all a few important things. Firstly, I am so sorry that we have the Cretins and the Cockwombles in Westminster Abbey calling you names, calling you labels. None of that is true. None of those labels are you. I know what you are. And you are the very, very best of us. And you are the very, very best in Britain. And I'm proud to be part of you. You know, for too long, great British people have felt like they are second-class citizens in their own country. And for too long, our elderly have been at the back of the queue, and that is not acceptable. We are told that diversity matters, but diversity comes in any colour as long as it's not white. We are told that we are to be tolerant, but it turns out that people who preach tolerance are the most intolerant of all. And we are told that we live in a great multiculture, that we have multiculturalism, and we don't. We have an imposter culture that doesn't want any part of ours, and we're still expected to tiptoe around it. And that needs to stop. You guys have been pushed so that you have nothing left to lose. And let me say this clearly, South Africans know it. The most dangerous people are people with nothing left to lose. However, we have a lot to win, and we are now winning as the great British people of this fine country. You guys are going to win because you have the great British blitz spirit in your souls. It's hard woven in there. And you have a great British sense of humour, and God bless you all for that. And importantly as well, you have a great British Lionheart leading you in this Unite the Kingdom Day, and that is Tommy Robinson.
Tommy Robinson! Oh, Tommy Robinson! Oh,
to make this happen. We are not alone. We are many, and we are stronger together, and together we will unite the...
Here for Katie Hopkins. As we said, the two lot will be led by weak men. We need strong men.
I think she knows when I pin a picture of Katie.
When you press the trigger for the first time, frustration creates anger creates violence. I've been to combat and heavy combat. I would never insult a World War I and World War II veteran by saying that I've been to war. Those poor fuckers were ultimately into this chaos, into this world of the unknown. If we are of all cultures, that means we are cultureless. If you're hostile against our British culture, you do not belong here. It's death by 1,000 cuts, and this is what I can no more.
Right, we should right now be going live to Admittance. Fine, mate, we're looking at you. What message have you got for London, Ant? What message have you got for London, for Great Britain?
Listen, mate, I am currently at Everest Base Camp and I'm taking my 17-year-old son to the summit of Mount Everest. English pride, British pride. You know, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want everyone to know what we produce out of England. We produce young leaders. We produce stoic individuals. We are leading with absolutely everything that we do, and we must never forget that as an identity. I'm coming back to serve, mate. Once I've come from the apex of the world, from Mount Everest, my duty has always been to serve. Before, it was to serve my country and my queen when I swore back in 1997, over a decade of service to the highest of standards. Right now, even though I've got this media career and I'm sitting pretty on my hands, I cannot allow that to happen, especially with what's going on in the UK, in Great Britain and in England, and more importantly, what's happening in London with the two. I will come back, mate, and I will rattle London until it wakes up. I promise you that. When I come back, yes. I was honest to God, I was born to serve. And ever since I've jumped into the media world, there's been something missing. And it's 100% service to my country, service to my people, and this time it's service to London. There's three things within my manifesto. A lot of people say, you live abroad, you're currently doing your own thing, and I am. But when the time comes and when I return, I've been working on my manifesto, and the three things that I've been working on is zero tolerance policies when it comes to London. Safety and security is what I'm good at. I'm an SME when it comes to safety and security. Zero tolerance policies. The most important one, which I think should happen across the board, is accountability policies. Now, let me tell you something. When people vote me in for Mayor of London, and when I become Mayor of London, I will be the action man mayor. I will be on the streets of London on a weekly basis with the people, with the victims. I will turn up, and you've heard this right here in front of millions in London right now from Everest Base Camp. I will turn up to every fatal stabbing that happens in my city. And what I mean by that is and I will hold people accountable. I will hold a certain borough that happens. I will hold the police HQ accountable. I will hold councillors accountable. I will force and shrug shoulders. Everyone blames it on religion, on culture, and we're absolutely sick of that. Everything will fit under our British cultured umbrella, and that includes our law and order. And again, please come and enjoy yourself under our British cultured umbrella, but you will adhere to our law and order, you will adhere to the law of the lands, and you will respect our values, our culture, our principles, and our traditions, and they will come above any other culture or religion. And I will enforce that the moment I take office in London.
Will you vote for Anne Middleton for London Mayor?
Capital of our city, England, the capital of England, it needs to be run by an Englishman or an Englishwoman.
Yay!
Pride, and that is what I plan to do. So please, everyone, the London Mayor, the next London Mayor elections and the next general elections are the most important elections of our lives. Make sure you vote for one of us so we can take back that position, we can take back our country, and we can take back our country. We can produce out of England. Take care, guys. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon.
when we hear about open border mass immigration, this one is for the Gary Linekers of the world. No. There's a brave lady who faced the real cost of this. Rhiannon White was 27 years old when she was butchered 23 times by an invader from Sudan. Her brave mother. Do you know, whenever I see these people murdered, I see children raped, I see these mass killings, I think, where are the parents to speak up, to use that opportunity to warn the rest of the country? Your doors are not safe. They're bringing in criminals, rapists, murderers.
Yes.
Do you know, last year in the United States of America, 66% of the murders were by illegal immigrants. That means 66% of the murders didn't have to happen. We need our own ICE. Europe needs its own ICE. Get these criminals, round them up, and get them out of our country.
Come on.
Darling, and the rest of the family, you come and go.
Country back. We want our country back. We want our country back. We want our country back.
Hello. The support we have already received from everyone has been unwavering. I have made some of the truest of friends while navigating the most difficult part of my life, all of whom have been raising awareness for Rhiannon. I am the mother of Rhiannon Skywright, a beautiful, selfless 27-year-old woman who was brutally murdered in October 2024 by an illegal migrant. Rhiannon had spent the day working in a hotel. Unbeknown to her, she was being stalked. She was followed to the train station where she was waiting to be gone home tonight. But instead I received a phone call that changed my life forever. Rhiannon has left behind a little boy, her siblings and me, her mum, a big extended family. We couldn't hold her funeral for 4 months because she was no longer Rhiannon. She was classed as evidence. Rhiannon was stabbed 23 times with a Phillips screwdriver. The main injury which caused her death was to her brainstem. Less than 90 seconds this monster took to attack her, leaving her fighting for her life on a train station platform. If she had survived, she would have been blind with brain injuries and no quality of life. 11 weeks he was in this country when he unleashed his unprovoked frenzied attack on my daughter. And to celebrate his achievements, he then went and purchased alcohol, returned to the hotel and was caught on CCTV and mobile footage dancing and laughing with lights in the background, which were emergency services trying to save her. 15 months of fighting for justice in court, where from day one he denied everything, calling the forensics liars and denied he could speak English. He lied about his age, given the same generic birth date, the 1st of the 1st. We don't actually know his real age. He refused to do any bone density tests. And when the Home Office went to speak to him, showed no remorse, slouched in his seat and kept saying, "Thank you for the questions." During the trial, we found out he was untreated HIV positive. He was denied asylum in Germany and Italy. My question is why? Arrested in Germany but no further charges. Yes, he was given a life sentence, minimum 29 years, probably never be released. But we were given a life sentence where we had to sit at Rhiannon's bedside for 3 days watching Rhiannon diminish and hold her hand as her life support was switched off. How many more women, children or even men have to keep going through this? Sexual assault, rape and even murder. This needs to stop. This sham of a government needs to start looking after the British citizens of this country. We have enough with the people of our own country committing these crimes. We don't need any more of these illegal invaders. Shut the borders, detain them and send them back to whichever country they are from. Stop giving them a home in a hotel or a HMO on benefit money. Keir Starmer, where do I even begin to discuss the foreign excuse of a leader of our country? He has failed us. He has failed my daughter, Rhiannon. I believe she would still be alive today if this disgusting excuse of a man had not been in control. This isn't about race or colour for us as a family. This is about us wanting to stop these crimes happening. I am currently working on a reality law to be put in place. So if this government is to keep allowing these illegal invaders into our country, we fight to detain, medical checks, ID checks, tag and stop and allowing them to walk our streets freely. We are going to leave a legacy in Rihanna's name for her son and other children going through the same loss as he is. Her little boy wants to be a brain doctor when he grows up, so we can help people like his mum. No 6-year-old child should ever be thinking this way. We as a family have set up a GoFundMe page for the children left behind, rhiannonskywhite.co.uk, for children who may have lost their mothers this way, the way Rihanna's little boy has. Or mothers who lost their children in similar circumstances I have. Every single penny donated will go to helping and supporting these families. So to help us ensure this is possible, please can we ask that you donate anything that you're able to. And if you are financially unable to contribute, we ask that you please share her story. Everything we do as a family is for Rhiannon, her little boy and the children left behind. The reason I don't want this monster's name mentioned is because he's not worthy. This is Rhiannon's story. We will continue to say her name, Rhiannon Sky White. Thank you.
Make sure we share that website with all of you, make sure you support them. That murder did not have to happen. She shouldn't be dead. They don't care, that's the reality, they do not care. How many more of our daughters have to be taken? As we leave that, I want to go, what a brave family. What a brave family. None of us can even imagine what they've gone through. Imagine what they've gone through. That's the real cost, the reality of open border mass immigration. That's the reality. I want to talk to you about the darkest stain in British history, when an invading army of men were brought into this nation and raped and pillaged their way through it, and the full acceptance of that place and our police force. When we look, if you watched our investigation, when I started talking about this first in 2004, it's what we call grooming. We're talking about a rape jihad. I want to give you some numbers for the world that's listening. And do you know what? These crimes would never have been allowed to happen if we were a proud, strong nation. Because men would never have allowed it to happen in their towns and cities. We lost who we were. We become disorganised. We lost our spirit. We lost our identity. And men took advantage of our communities and that we hold the dearest to us, our daughters and our women. I want to talk about Telford. The reason I concentrated on Telford in my grooming gang investigation, if you haven't watched the documentaries, we have a very brave lady here today who led the march. Nicole is here from episode 1. A brave lady who led the way in highlighting these crimes. In Telford, there's only 1,000 Muslim men in Telford. 1,000 Muslim men. That town, they raped, these are police's numbers, 1,000 children were raped and 5 were murdered. 20% of the Muslim men in that town were identified by the police as being involved in the rapes. That's one town. One small town that no one has really been to or heard of, that only has a 1.7% Muslim population. What do you think it's like in Birmingham? What do you think it's like in Luton? The other town you've heard of is what? Rotherham only has 3.7% Muslim population. There's none there. And there's none there, but yet they raped 1,400 children. I don't want you to think about the numbers. I want you to think about the children. Now they thought they'd bring community cohesion
Have a great day.
We got our own night.
for these crimes. If 1,400 children were raised in the small town of Rotherham, and each one of those children had 4 family members, that means that 10 directly affected in that town by the rape of the Islamic community. One lady has led the campaign.
Yeah, you've good idea, Danny. There you go, I don't mind back.
Who is the face of the survivors of this scandal. Let's introduce them.
This was happening on the majority of Pakistani Muslim men. 7 men have been charged with more than 40 offences in connection with a major investigation into child sexual exploitation in Bristol. He just turned 14, he was 24, so he's 10 years old. They were picked up on school, this was happening all over the town. Majority of Pakistani Muslim men. Now this inquiry is about truth, exposure and accountability. I'll be leading the inquiry myself and I'm happy with.
No, I've got one here, bro. Take care, mate.
Okay, on the floor, is that what you say?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here to talk about the grievous injustices of British history. Throughout the United Kingdom, since as early as the 1950s, children have been groomed, tortured, raped, trafficked, impregnated, criminalised and murdered. Families have been destroyed and ripped apart by gangs of men and women. Children were raped by dogs. There was poured petrol on, forced to dig their own graves. Scriptures of the Quran were read whilst gangs of men raped them. They called for Lucifer while they placed children in microwaves, ovens and freezers. Now that is only one part of the story. Professionals that were paid to protect did absolutely nothing. They didn't just do nothing, they were involved. Police officers held cop nights where groups of police officers raped children and then handed them back to the gangs of men, while social services turned a blind eye. Politicians and children were sacrificed for votes. Jahangir Akhtar was a Labour politician. He made a no prosecution deal with rapist Arshad Hussain and PC Hassan Ali. They was making deals with rapists. And let's not forget how the minister, Jess, resigned this week, and very rightly so. They said no to a national inquiry. This was happening under a Labour government and a Tory government. The Tories don't get off lightly either. Now people, the government are bringing in third worlders. And people have asked me, Sammy, why aren't you talking? No more. Labour politicians have threatened and tried to sue me. They've tried having me arrested for telling you all about what's been going on in our country. Rajan Meyer to Keir Starmer, to Jahangir Akhtar, to all the politicians and the police officers that are trying to stop people like me from exposing this.
You will not stop us. MP Rupert Lowe has started his inquiry. Our report will be published in a couple of months, and we are going straight for the government. We're going to name them, we're going to shame them, and we're going to prosecute them. And they're not going to stop us. Now, I'm fortunate enough to be able to stand here today, and I'm fortunate enough to say that I sent my rapist to prison for 35 years. There are thousands of children in this country that have had no justice, no platform, and no voice. I just want to mention, before we go into a minute's silence, Lucy Lowe, Laura Wilson, and Jodie Sheeran. They're not here today. So when we go into that moment of silence, please think of them and keep them close to your hearts. And I just want to acknowledge every single victim in this country, not just victims to the gangs, but to the victims that were abused by the church and the priests, the children in care homes, by family members, by online. All of the victims, I want you to know that this wasn't your fault. You're not to blame, and the state will be held to account. Let's start the 1 minute silence.
I can see it now, yeah. I'm literally on tiptoes.
Thank you everyone, and have a great day.
Let's have some more patriotic music, yeah? Come on, Britain. The theme of today's event is 4 nations, 1 kingdom. And if you see the singers here, we have Star in the red and white for England and Northern Ireland. We have Ray in the blue and white for Scotland. We have Nicola in the green and white for Wales. And myself, I'm here as the Union. So we sing this song, no matter what they say to us. We know that this is the land of hope and glory.
Moving forward.
Mother of the free, how shall we extol thee?